Hi, and welcome to the episode of CFS Christian Fantasy Sports. It's been a while. Haven't put any videos out. I tried to launch this thing with some real expectations of how I thought I could get things done, and I got a little smacked. Things didn't work out the way I thought they should or would. But I'm back. I lost my voice week 1. Carried over to week 2. Week 3, I started realizing all these issues I was having with editing. I really didn't know what I was doing. I actually still doing the same thing. I just got a quieter background. Still having to use the same microphone, even though I got this thing here. But I'm still trying to figure out the software. Luckily, the kid next door is working with me to show me how to do these things. So I'm going to start putting out videos again. I feel God has called me to do this. Not so much from the sports aspect. That's not a big deal. It's the sports aspect. There's lots of information out there right from the sports aspect. There's no shortage of that whatsoever. Some of it good, some of it bad. That part, I've done a good job of keeping up with the sports. Haven't done any job of putting any information out there, and I haven't done anything about putting information out there as far as Christianity and our walk with God. This is really the purpose behind why I'm doing this. So I'm back. Yee! Nobody's watching it anyway, right? So it doesn't really matter unless Dave watches it. And by the way, Dave, you're welcome. You're welcome for the Tyrone Tracy, and also. You can't see because I'm probably going to show my board because my granddaughter has destroyed it for the 27,000th time. And so I get the pleasure of putting everything back in place and finding the pieces that she has removed. But I'm excited about it. So, those granddad moments you get from grandkids doing the silliest things that you don't really want them to do, but it's kind of funny. So, yay. Week 6 has just passed. How are you doing in your fantasy sports league? Are you doing well? Are you 1-5? Are you 0-6? Are you 2-4? Don't give up hope. The first month is always an illusion. It's never accurate. Don't pay attention to it. Remember the first 2 games of the season? Did New Orleans score like 90-something points? Are they still doing that? No, they're not. Didn't New England stink? This May, who's this May quarterback, this young rookie Drake May, looked pretty good his first debut, didn't he? 2 interceptions, but 3 touchdowns. And what about the Giants? Weren't they supposed to be like the worst offense this year, the worst team in football? Looking pretty good, aren't they? It's Minnesota, Buffalo. Well, Buffalo's was already a better team than people thought anyway. I mean, they're already a well-ranked team, well-received team, but Minnesota, Miami, Detroit, certain teams have certain types of schemes and certain types of coaches that just simply make their teams better. And so if you have players from their teams, you feel more comfortable with the results you may or may not receive. Now, I am pretty pumped about New Orleans this year. It's good to see Kubiak in there. They got a lot more motion going in the New Orleans offense now. So they went from one of the last teams, and I think they were 27th, 28th last year, maybe even dead last. I really probably should have had those numbers before I said that. But they were ranked toward the end, if not at the bottom, of as far as putting receivers in motion and moving guys around. And now they're toward the top of the league. It makes a big difference. So if you can scheme guys open, look at Chicago, a young, upcoming, improving team with a young quarterback. If you haven't got Rome Odunze in Dynasty, or if you think you can get your hands on him in redraft, he could be a second half of the season league winner. Second half of the season league winner. If we see Brian Thomas doing it right, we see him doing great things. And we saw Marvin Harrison has some big breakout games early for Arizona. The sky is the limit for these young receivers. It's not the 1980s. It's not the 1990s. We don't have to think like that anymore. These rookies can have instant impacts on us, and we need to recognize the rookies that are in those situations that have the potential for that impact. Rome Odunze is one of them. Today we're going to talk about Proverbs. We're going back to old school, Old Testament. And we're going to talk about Proverbs 16:3. 16:3 says, "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established." Commit yourself to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Now, the interesting part about that is your plans are being established because you're following Him. He is giving you your plans because you're following Him. The word commit in the Hebrew tense, the Hebrew text of the word commit is to follow, to roll, to go along with. So when it says commit, it's telling us to go along with His plan. His plan will be established for us. And that's the premise of life. That's the premise behind this. Me doing this is I'm trying to commit myself to God. I'm trying to follow what I think He's asking me to do. And I have had a terrible job the last few weeks. I haven't put any videos out. And I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to get better at this. But I will commit myself to the Lord. I'm asking you guys to do the same. Now, no one's watching this, so God's going to have somebody watch this for you to pay attention to listen to me. But let's commit ourselves, guys, girls, fellow fantasy football players. Let's commit ourselves to God. Let's make it a daily walk. So I'll put another video out tomorrow. I'm going to try to get on this as many times as I can. I'm going to commit myself to the Lord to doing this correctly. Have patience with me. I mean, no one's watching right now anyway, so I get all the practice I want, except maybe you, Dave. You might be paying attention. You're welcome for Tyrone Tracy. You're welcome for Tyrone Tracy. I would tell you guys out there, if you can get Tyrone Tracy, grab him up while you can. My buddy Dave's in a league with me. I felt Tyrone Tracy was going to be a little bit of money be spent to pick him up, and I had already spent money, and I really didn't need a running back. We were kind of running back heavy, and so I sent him a little text saying, spend this of your fab budget. He blew half his budget, but he got him. Got him 22 points and a win, and that's why we do what we do. So good for you, Dave. Good for you. Now I expect some kind of home-cooked meal or something in return here because this isn't free, but it really is. So watch and learn, and let's grow together. Christian fantasy sports. The only fantasy here is football because God is real.